My name is Andrew, and I have IgA nephropathy. It's a kidney disease that I have. It causes some scarring in my kidneys. When I would get fevers, I would get a lot of blood in my urine. It would be incredibly dark, and people didn't really know what it was. This was when I was very young, and they thought later on in life I would have some kidney issues. 2016, I was formally diagnosed. I would get pain on my side occasionally and some swelling in my hands, and I didn't really know what it all related to until the diagnosis happened, when the nephrologist and the rheumatologist told me this is most likely related to IgA nephropathy. I honestly didn't really know how to feel. My father had kidney cancer when I was younger, so it was scary. I was told it wasn't as severe as that right now in this stage, but anything to do with kidneys kind of like put the hairs on my spine up a little bit. And then I educated myself. I'm lucky to have two parents that work in the medical field, so I wasn't going in blind. I have a really good support system in that. And then I am also very good at going to the doctor and making sure I stay up to date on my medications, and I go in for checkups as needed. So I felt cautiously optimistic. One of the ways that IgA nephropathy manifests, there's a confounding illness that's often associated with IgA nephropathy, which is chronic uveitis and episcleritis, which is a swelling in my eye. My eye turns bright red, I get pretty photophobic. It varies in severity. Some days I get it about once a month. And sometimes it's about a 3 out of 10 on the pain scale, and sometimes it's a 12. And when it's at a 12, I can't drive. I can't go outside for the most part until it dies down. It takes a couple hours to die down. That affects my day-to-day. I used to be really into weightlifting, and with IgA nephropathy, you have to be careful with lifting heavy weights. When you lift weights, your blood pressure goes up. I have hypertension as it is. I was diagnosed with that well before IgA nephropathy. I get some pain in my sides. I get swelling in my fingers and toes and ankles sometimes. I always have blood in my urine and protein in my urine. It's a lot less now than it has been since I'm on medication. So that's how it manifests today. I'm getting married in a couple months, and I'm worried about becoming a burden down the line. My father, lost a kidney, and I'm worried about any kind of kidney function going down. Even though things are under control now, I'm worried of what it might become. I'm very open about medical history. I grew up around an RN, and my father was a radiology tech, and it was just openly talked about. So I fortunately have never felt too much stigma, especially when it involves something that's I can't control. And the person I'm marrying is also in the medical profession. She's a dentist. So it was a non-issue for the most part. She definitely has her concerns, and it's really nice to have an advocate who understands medicine and understands my health concerns and can help me look out. And without that, I don't know where I would be. If I didn't have the support system of both my family, understanding the health world, and her, I think I'd be in a very different place. I think it's important to embrace these things. They don't define you as a person, your disease or whatever it may be. You are so much more than just this one thing attached to you. That being said, it is a part of you, and it's okay to embrace and be honest about it. Me going to the doctor consistently and routinely keeps me hopeful. I don't want any surprises. So going for constant checkups and being diligent in my medication makes me hope that things will get better in the future, or at least stay the same at the very least. On my tough days, my fiance definitely keeps me hopeful. When I mention the words kidney disease, I'm often met with, oh no. And then I go into a little more detail to help them understand what happens in my body. When something is not visible, it's kind of like public health, I guess, right? It's sometimes hard to invest in something that you don't see every day. And public health, when you invest in public health, down the line you'll see results that are hopefully for good. And when IgA nephropathy, because I don't feel symptoms every day, or because somebody does not feel symptoms every day, they may forget about it or ignore it because they don't feel it in their bodies. And which is why it's important to have routine checkups, and it's important to stay up to date on your medications and up to date with your body and how it's doing. A confusing part throughout this journey has been not necessarily like misdiagnosis, but opposite opinions of care. It's been really, really difficult to understand. You want to trust your medical providers, but when you're hearing opposite things from your rheumatologist and then from your nephrologist and then from your ophthalmologist, it's hard. I try to do my best to find a middle ground, or I do explain to them, well, that's not what so-and-so says, but with everybody in every profession, everyone has a point of view and an ego attached to their findings, and it's difficult to navigate. It's incredibly important to advocate for yourself. I wish I knew that sooner. Doctors are human and they make mistakes, and if you notice a red flag that they're telling you or something that you want to be covered or looked at, it's important that you speak up, because no one else is going to do it for you. One of the most frustrating things about IgA nephropathy is no one knows why it happens. No one knows how it starts, at least for the most part. They know what's going on, but not necessarily why. So I would love to see some insight into that. That's super frustrating. And then, so because of that, it's symptoms are treated, which is important, and I understand that. I wish that the core illness would be treated. And I do really appreciate any researcher or medical team that dives deep into this, because it's invisible. It may not get as much attention as other things, so it's really important work that they do. If someone addressed the root cause of this illness and developed medication, it'd be a game changer. I would definitely feel lighter and more cautiously optimistic for the future. I would sign up in a heartbeat.